What a time wasting may well be required today as we are back in Champions League action. We've got a tricky two-legged tie, but it's just a joy to be here. And of course, we're flying at the top of the league. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 135 of this Build a Nation story, Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. We are back today, as you can see, to face Lyon in a two-legged Champions League knockout playoff. And to be fair, if you'd offered us the chance to be in this game at the start of the season, I would have been a very happy man. We've got a great opportunity to boost the coefficient and bring a little bit more money into the football club. But for now, after that sketchy deadline day where we just about managed to keep our squad together, we have got a real chance to enjoy a special day, probably our greatest tie in European football. Hopefully, we'll sell out the home leg. We've also got plenty of money in the bank, as we know, and good news to start off from the last episode. If you're looking forward to it, chuck a thumbs up. But Duncan McKenzie, the man who nearly left on deadline day, has now dropped his concerns and signed a new deal. He is here for the long haul. No more expected to be sold for a certain price. We have tied that man down for the long term, which, not massive in terms of his quality. He'll probably be replaced as a first teamer in the next 18 months at least, I would imagine. But the big thing is he's homegrown at the club, and we've got to have people of that quality who aren't taking up extra squad spaces. We've also got a few injuries and whatever today, most of them still out following recent weeks. We've got Darren Mills unregistered. That is purely because he's out for most of the season, and we wanted to get Paul Elliott involved, which he will be. Might even be a starter tonight. Let's have a quick look though at the schedule and what's been happening since you were last here. We played 3 games off camera. We've got 3 wins off camera, and they were massive ones. An 8-0 win at home to Ballymena United. Dermot Lafferty just couldn't stop scoring. A double hat-trick for him. He only played 75 minutes and still managed to get 6 goals. Morgan Griffiths and Owen Kidd again popping up with 1 apiece. We got a 5-0 win in the Antrim Shield final against Lyon with Duncan McKenzie. New contract, newfound happiness and a new eye for goal. He got the opener before Scully, Missalidis, Dunn and Lafferty all added 1 apiece. And then a 4-0 win at the weekend as we rested most of the squad. Lewis Scott getting a rare goal in the Irish Cup off the bench after Elliott, Parry and Morgan Griffiths had all got 1 apiece. But as you can see, a few youngsters coming off the bench again and plenty of reserve players getting football. Elliott might play tonight, but we wanted to get him some fitness. He played about 60 minutes. And Miles Stout has still got his toys out the pram at the moment. So for the short term, we've swapped him and Kyle Carr around. But we're going to go and get straight into this one. It is a massive tie for this football club. To put it into context, Celtic are playing Newcastle in another tie. That is the level of competition we are at the moment. I didn't look actually, and I will do quickly now, to see who Linfield have got in their Europa Conference one, because they did get through the group stage. They have got Sturm Graz, and that's why our ties have been rearranged. We'll show it as a double header next time. We've got the League Cup final and a league game just 2 days apart against them. And I mentioned it before now, most of our focus for future episodes is going to be Linfield and European games because there are only 2 challenges really remaining. So let's go and get through the team selection, see who we can put out for this one. It's going to be all change from the weekend fixture. Let's get our first team in. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, here we go. Unfortunately, the injured players have not quite made it, but Stephen Cowan has got a good chance for next week in the second leg. The big question today, though, is what we did in attacking midfield. We've got the likes of Kashif Beaton who are improving massively, but I can't justify it yet. I've kind of got what I wanted out of this year because I said with Smith and Missalidis, they're not coming back next season. Could we develop their replacements? And certainly on the left wing with Beaton, we've probably done that ready for next season. For now, though, this is the team we've gone for today. Not many surprises, and it's very strong. We've got Neil Kane in goal, Reed and Carter fullbacks with McKenzie and Smith as centre-half, Jude and Gash the midfield 2, Elliott and Missalidis out wide, and then Dunn behind Mark Scully up front. 53 for the season for him. Let's see if he can add to that today. We're going to drop to balance when we get into it as always, and hopefully we'll give them a game. But their star player is virtually as good as Subas for Newcastle. Or almost a full bench for Lyon, who are managed by Laurent Blanc in this save. They've got one very weird experienced player still remaining, which is Brian Gill. Not the man you'd probably expect to be in a team 14 years in. And watch out for Martial Godefroy. That winger, the skipper, is world class. I mean, genuinely good. Got about 40 caps for France in his mid-20s, and he's a proper superstar. Let's go and ask the lads to impress us. Let's drop to a balanced mentality. This is going to be a big test, but as we know, we normally start fast. We normally do concern teams because of the way we play. Let's get through the music. Let's get through the intro. Let's get into the first half. If we're still in a tie after tonight, I'll be a very happy man. Well, we've got through the first 2 minutes without an injury, which is better than the Newcastle game last episode, but it's not started well on the goal scoring front. And that's what you get, isn't it? The man I gave a little bit of stick to before the game has just pile-driven one into the bottom corner. A corner kick comes out to the edge of the box, and Brian Gill has put in an absolute daisy cutter, and the keeper had no chance through loads of bodies. It's a good start for Lyon, and I've got a feeling we might meet our match here, because we're at a stage now where teams aren't getting second chances. They're not going to be a bit complacent or a bit lazy. Neil Kane's had to make another great save there, and in 5 minutes, we're lucky not to be 2 down. I've got a feeling this might be the end of the run here, because let's be fair, we've normally relied on a very good start to get us over the line in most games this season. And this time, we've had a disastrous one. We're 1-0 down with half an hour gone. We've managed to stem the tide, which is probably quite important here, but it is not the start to the day we were hoping for. A 1-0 defeat away would not be a disaster. We know we've been very strong at home. But at the moment, Lyon looked the better side, though we are creative here. Through ball to Gash and Scully, must have been offside. It's saved anyway, doesn't matter. The flag didn't go up, which is a little bit odd, but it looks like we're going to trail at the break. Only 1-0, it could have been worse, but despite a pretty poor performance, we are well and truly in this match. Now, can we get some service to Mark Scully? And can we get some of those stars back next week? How much are we going to miss Cowan and Merivale Austin, that genuine Premier League quality in our side? I don't think we've got it in many other places here, as Elliott cuts in from the right. Back to Smith, and now Damien Jude. You got Paul Elliott going from not being able to get into an SPL side to now playing in a Champions League last 32 game, as he gives the ball away there, but Dunn nicks it back. Another man who wouldn't have normally played today. And that's why, because Merivale Austin would normally put a chance like that in the back of the net. For Damien Dunn, it's high, wide and pretty ugly. And it stays 1-0. An hour gone. We're going to think about changes after this free kick. Missalidis in, it's a good save, Setford. We'll see out the corner and highlight. You know my superstition. And then we'll get these changes made. It's Gavin Reid who's going to take it. Such a reliable corner taker. How many assists a season does he get from that? Up to the back post is headed away. And Damien Jude brings it down into Mackenzie and Smith. Is it going to peter out? Or can we create something from it? No, we can't. 25 remaining. Elliott's now got a booking. He's going to be replaced by Kashif Beaton. Both midfielders are struggling as well, but we know that Jordan Gash on a booking is a risk, so we're going to go for Neil Daly. We're going to take off Carr at left back for the same reason. Stow will come on for him, and then anything else we can do? For now, I don't think so. We're going to give it 5 more minutes, and then we'll make a couple more. But we're still in the game, and to be honest, that's all I can ask for. I don't expect to nick results away from home at sides of this quality, but I do expect us to compete, and we've done that. I'm going to take off Dunn and Missalidis as my final 2 subs. On will come Dermot Lafferty as the left winger, traditional winger as well. Or I could switch them and go both inverted. I think I'm going to do that. Beaton off the left inverted winger, Lafferty off the right inverted winger. And then you know there's only one man for the big occasion. Ben Parry is sitting on the bench, but Morgan Griffiths is there. Oh, what do I do? I've got to go Ben Parry. Let's get the better player on for this occasion, because we're going to need Griffiths next week. We'll save him for that. 10 minutes to go. We're still 1-0 down, despite not really putting up much of a fight in this game. You can see Lyon have been the better side. We can't argue with this result. But the fact it's only 1 as we head into 3 minutes of stoppage time, I think is a pretty good effort. I give us half a chance at home based on what we've seen this season. A few yellow cards, which is a little concerning, but a decent effort, a 1-0 defeat. Let's see how Linfield get on. We'll be back for the second leg in a minute. Well, we're back here for the second leg with all the play fought against Lyon following that 1-0 defeat in the first leg. However, it's been a pretty big week here on a number of fronts. First of all, Linfield, who continue their domestic unbeaten season, I do feel a bit for them. They pulled off one hell of a result in Europe. A 3-0 win at home to Sturm Graz in the home leg. Nearly sold out at Windsor Park. Surely they're through. And look, both of their big January signings were in there, with Shane Davis, one of the star players, in goal. So great to see them doing well. On the other fronts, though, we've got big stuff at the club. Facility upgrades completed for both training and youth facilities, both now up to great. We are starting to become a big football club. They rejected doing anything to the stadium, which is a shame. But if we can get some good young players in now, these players should improve. We've improved the coaching team as well. We'll talk about that in the end of season review. All of the focus is going to be on player and staff progression. But for now, we're going to get into the second leg and see if we can do something miraculous to improve the budget again. Now, this is interesting. We're suddenly back at Windsor Park. What's going on? Can someone explain this to me in the comments? Is it something that changes between group and knockout? I don't know. But 11,000 fans, I tell you what, that might be a record. A few of you asked in the comments, the home game that we sold out against City at our own stadium was a record attendance at our ground, and also, most importantly, record gate receipts of nearly 250,000. I wonder if we break that tonight. I don't remember us having that many fans in for a home game before. But let's go and get through to the team selection. This is the team we played last week, but I've got a big decision to make. Look, Stephen Cowan is there, 75 minutes possible. Let me make my mind up. We'll be back in a moment. Well, I've gone for it, and why not? Because if we get Merivale Austin back in a few days for the domestic season, it doesn't matter if we lose Cowan for a couple of games. I mean, he does suggest he's fit, so as long as we don't play him for the full 90, we shouldn't risk a big injury. If we lose him for a week or two with a strain, then it's worth it for a chance of getting through. He starts with Elliott dropping to the bench. The rest of the 11 is exactly the same though. We did pretty well in Lyon. Despite getting outplayed, we managed to stay in the tie. Now at home, we've produced some memorable nights this year. We beat a Marseille side from France at home, albeit Marseille finishing lower than Lyon every year. What can we do against this lot? Hopefully we can cause a stir without Merivale Austin, and fingers crossed the gamble on Cowan does not backfire. Let's go and find out. Well, here's our aim for tonight. Get to a position where the message on this mug is relevant. Can we get to a stage where we need to time waste? Because that will mean we're ahead in a tie. Brian Gill, the goal scorer, does start again for Lyon. Godefroy, the star man, is on the other wing again. It's a similar squad, a couple missing from the bench due to injury. But Laurent Blanc has got his side playing. They deserve to win the first leg, but what ambition will they come out with in this one? We've seen other sides start slowly away from home. Can they do the same? Can they give us a chance? Could we possibly make the last 16 of the Champions League? Well, it's been a slow start to the game, though we're back with 17 gone, and Lyon have got the ball with everyone in our half. It's a good reverse pass as well, which Smith intercepts for Dunn, and Reed can bring the ball away. Can we score one on the counter? Would be remarkable. Through balls towards Misselidis. First header's lost, so is the second one. Even Scully loses one there. How tall must their defence be? As Setford gets the ball out from the back and they switch it, they look so confident in possession. Here's the star man Godefroy. Good switcher play that is as well. And Brian Gill still got all the technical ability. Back into defence they go. They just look a different level to some of the sides we faced, and they are a good side in fairness. But we gave City a game, surely we can give them one. Crucial we don't go behind, no. And that is going to make a big difference to this tie. Marcel Schmidt, probably their second best player on paper. And he's made it 2-0 on aggregate. A big uphill battle we face now. I should probably mention that Marcel Schmidt, on loan from Chelsea, 21-year-old Austrian international, has scored 1 and 2 in the Champions League this year. But we've nicked the ball high there with Scully to Misselidis. Can we get back on terms immediately? Into Damien Dunn. Falls for Cowan. Oh, surely if he's fit, he scores that. Lashes it over the bar under not that much pressure. And you get the feeling with chances like that being missed that it's probably not going to be our night. 1.5 expected goals, and that chance will probably assume a lot of it. And unfortunately it's not taken as Godefroy puts a cross in. And they're just so much of a threat on the counter. They've got great players in there. And Schmidt's headed that one just wide. 10 to the break, some encouraging signs. But ultimately, we've wasted the best chance we'll get, which is not good at this stage. As Anderson throws into Schmidt. Anderson again with the delivery. Godefroy tries to get there. Cleared away to Carr and Jude. Card again. Big ball forward towards Scully, who again loses the header. This is a big concern for us. If Scully can't win flick-ons, then you've not got Merivale Austin running off them anyway. It is a big concern, though. Carr's done really well here. Nicks it back for Jude. Through ball to Scully. Did he get played on? Mark Scully has dinked the keeper. But did the left back play him onside? I think he might have. It's 1-1 on the night. We're back in this tie. And he might be 6 for 8. But that boy, he has got some technical finesse. Half time, a great time to score it. We've just about edged it on the night. Lots of home fans in the stadium. That's nice to see. And we're still in this match with 45 to go. 1-0 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate to Lyon. Will that early goal we conceded prove crucial? Well, with a quarter of the game to go, we are well on top according to the stats. But look, we've got the referee glitch this time instead of the stadium one. I am going to have to take off Cowan now because he's not playing well anyway. Paul Elliott will get the run out. Gash has had an average game, but I'm going to leave it for now. I feel this is the type of game where you need your best 11 players out for as long as possible. And that's what we're going to do. As we've got the ball in our own box with Damien Jude. It's a panicked clearance to Kumiento. And he gives it to Rana. Great first touch. Takes it away from Jude. It's a good save from Neil Kane. You've got to give him credit. He's kept us in the tie tonight. And with 15 to go, I think we're going to pull the trigger now. We've got a couple of tired legs. We've got a couple of poorer performers. Damien Dunn is going to be replaced by Morgan Griffiths. He is the big game player. And I would not bring anyone else on an occasion like this. Gavin Reid is going to be replaced by Tommy Murphy. He's knackered at right back. And then what else do we do? I want to get Beaton on if possible. And it will have to be for Jordan Gash in central midfield. It doesn't work. We can't just bring players on for the sake of it. It's going to be Neil Daly, who is the far better fit. We're also going to save the last sub for 5 more. And then I will throw Beaton on somewhere, but I'm not sure where yet. Well, 5 minutes to go. Missalidis has run out of steam. I'm going to take him off for Kashif Beaton. Can't risk any more injuries in those attacking areas. So let's just see if we get a moment of magic. We are 1 goal behind on aggregate. There are 3 minutes added on. We've gone for it. We've gone attacking. But it's not going to be enough. A 1-1 draw on the night does boost the coefficient slightly. But we are out of Europe after reaching the last 32 in the Champions League. We lose in the playoff knockout round to Lyon. A great effort over 2 legs. A good result at home. But now it's over to Linfield, who need to go on the Europa Conference run. Well, my brief tinge of disappointment about that result has been very quickly quashed by £8 million of prize money just for playing in that round. And I also skipped ahead a day because I wanted to see if we got this. And look, wow, that is a big upgrade. Almost 400 grand in gate receipts for the Lyon game. An upgrade of 130 grand from the Manchester City match. We are making moves now. The big question is, can we start to translate some of the regular bigger attendances to the league where us, Linfield, Lyon are growing in reputation and the league quality is as well. Hopefully the prize money will reflect that too. I did mention earlier in the year that we had our biggest upgrade in number of season ticket holders. You can see there, up to £137 now. But look at the price, 500 quid for a season ticket. It's more than I've paid for Luton in the Premier League. No wonder there's not many fans there. The board maybe being a little bit greedy on this occasion. Before you go as well, a little teaser for what might be to come. We've just brought a player in on trial who I'm relatively excited about. Jordan Howard is a 25-year-old striker. Or we might have found a little gem there. What a backup he could be, particularly with Lafferty looking to leave at the end of his contract. So that's one to look out for in the future. Another English start possibly coming to Northern Ireland. But for now, let's go and have a look at the schedule, where we will be back in just about a week's time. I've said it at this point. Basically, our challenges now in this save are Europe, Linfield, and the odd tie in the SPFL Trust Trophy. Other than that, we should be beating everyone convincingly. As a result, we will be back for double Linfield next time. The League Cup final, the one that got away from us last year, I think, wasn't it? Who won the League Cup? It wasn't us. No, Linfield beat us in the final. Revenge is needed. I'm sure there'll be a red card in that one. And then we played them 2 days later in the league. We're both invincible. They're 10 points behind us if they win their games in hand. If we don't lose that game, we've won the title. So we'll be back for those two. A big exciting finish to come. And hopefully Linfield, fingers crossed, will go on a big European run as well. If you're looking forward to finding out and want to stay up to date, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe and turn that notification bell on for daily FM23 content. We had a big tie there against Lyon. It was pretty tense and there's going to be more of them in the future. I hope you're looking forward to them as much as me. You can find all the links in the eye above and description below to anything that might be useful from here. And I'll see you back here next time for a cup final and a big showdown at the top of the Irish Premiership.